The sky was quiet. Too quiet. People all over the world looked up at the stars, sensing something they could not explain. Satellites had detected an enormous fleet moving through the outer edges of the solar system. Ships unlike anything humans had ever seen. They were massive, dark, and ominous, almost alive, as if the ships themselves were watching. Governments scrambled to respond. World leaders met in emergency meetings, debating what to do. Some argued for surrender, hoping that compliance would save humanity. Others demanded war, believing that Earth could fight back. But no one had a real answer. The aliens had sent a message, one last warning. Humanity had 48 hours to prove they were not prey or be destroyed. In the United Nations Emergency Command Center, General Marcus Hayes stared at the holographic projection of the alien fleet. His jaw was tight. He had faced countless crises in his career, but nothing like this. "They think they can scare us," he said quietly. "They think Earth is weak. They are wrong." Across the world, ordinary people reacted with fear. Cities emptied as families prepared for the worst. Shops ran out of supplies, and streets were filled with sirens and confusion. But amid the chaos, some humans were quietly preparing. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers worked together to develop weapons and defenses that could challenge the unknown technology of the aliens. In a hidden facility beneath the Nevada desert, Dr. Elena Carter and her team worked day and night. Her team had discovered something astonishing. The alien ships were not fully autonomous. They required constant communication with a central command ship. If that ship could be located and destroyed, the rest of the fleet would be severely weakened. But it was a dangerous plan. One wrong move could mean complete annihilation. Meanwhile, in orbit, Captain Liam Reyes of the Earth Space Defense Fleet surveyed the alien fleet. The ships were enormous, some larger than entire cities. They pulsed with strange lights and energy, moving as if they were alive. "They're studying us," he muttered. "They're calculating everything." His crew worked frantically, running simulations and preparing the defensive satellites and laser arrays. The tension on the bridge was unbearable. Back on Earth, civilians were caught between fear and curiosity. Children asked questions their parents could not answer. People watched the skies in wonder and terror. News channels broadcast constant updates, but the alien message was clear. Earth must prove it is not prey, or it will be destroyed. As the first hours passed, small groups of humans began to show courage. Soldiers, volunteers, and scientists collaborated in ways the world had never seen. They used old satellites and hidden drones to track the alien ships. Hackers tried to intercept alien communications. Engineers repurposed weapons and vehicles to strike at enemy supply lines. Humanity was beginning to fight back, not with brute force, but with intelligence and creativity. In London, a small team led by Major Hannah prepared an improvised defensive plan. Using the city's underground tunnels, they had set up temporary command centers and storage for weapons. Hannah looked at her team, a mix of veterans and civilians trained in days instead of years. "We have to make them think twice before they attack," she said. "We may not have the firepower they do, but we have something they don't, our courage in our brains." At the same time, the alien fleet made a startling move. A massive ship descended into the upper atmosphere, hovering over the Pacific Ocean. Its presence alone caused massive waves and a temporary blackout of satellites. Cities panicked as the sky lit with eerie colors, strange energy rippling through the clouds. General Hayes watched the live feed from the Defense Command Center. "They're testing us," he said. "They want to see how we react. This is a first test, and we will pass it." Captain Reyes received an urgent transmission from Dr. Carter's team. "We found a potential vulnerability," she said. "If we can disrupt their command communication, we might be able to slow them down." Reyes' eyes narrowed. "This could be the turning point," he said. "But it's risky. One wrong move and we lose everything." That night, across the world, people slept with uneasy dreams. Some prayed, some prepared, some simply stared at the stars, feeling smaller than ever before. Yet, even in fear, a quiet determination was growing. Humanity had always survived against odds. This time would be no different. By the second day, humanity had begun to understand the aliens better. Observatories detected patterns in the fleet's movement. Hackers intercepted fragments of communication, enough to learn that the aliens expected humans to panic, to scatter, to surrender. They had not anticipated ingenuity, cooperation, and courage. Captain Reyes prepared a small squad for a daring reconnaissance mission. They would launch in stealth shuttles toward the edge of the alien formation, hoping to gather intelligence that could give humanity an edge. "Remember," he told his team, "we are not prey. We are survivors, and we will show them." The squad entered their shuttles, hearts racing. They passed over oceans and deserts, their path hidden from the alien sensors. For hours, they drifted through darkness, finally reaching the outskirts of the fleet. The ships were larger up close, their sheer size almost incomprehensible. Energy pulses ran along the hulls like veins of light. Suddenly, a massive energy wave erupted from one of the alien ships. The squad barely avoided it, hearts pounding. "They saw us," whispered one crew member. "They are reacting faster than we expected." Dr. Carter's team on Earth monitored the mission, calculating every possible response. "We need to move quickly," she said. "We may have only one chance." Meanwhile, General Hayes addressed the world. His voice was calm but firm. "People of Earth, do not panic. We face a challenge unlike any before. But we are not weak. We are not prey. Humanity has always found a way. And this time we will too." In a small command room beneath Nevada, Dr. Carter initiated the first stage of the plan. Satellites and ground-based transmitters sent a series of signals aimed at the central alien command ship. The screens flickered as energy readings spiked. The alien fleet responded unpredictably, some ships slowing, some changing course, some spinning as if confused. Captain Reyes' squad watched in awe. They had never seen anything like it. The aliens, for the first time, were uncertain. Humanity's ingenuity was working, but the risk was far from over. One more miscalculation, and the fleet could retaliate with devastating force. Back on Earth, people began to notice changes. Reports came in of alien ships suddenly halting in orbit. Communications from their fleet became intermittent. Humanity was seeing its first taste of victory, but the victory felt fragile, like a candle flickering in a storm. As the day ended, the world held its breath. Humanity had survived the first test. The aliens had not destroyed Earth. But the message was clear. This was only the beginning. The fleet would return stronger and smarter. The real battle was yet to come. General Hayes looked out at the night sky, the stars shimmering above. "This is the unexpected turning point," he said softly. "The aliens thought we were prey. They were wrong. Humanity will fight, and we will survive." In hidden labs and command centers, humans continued to work. Tirelessly, they built weapons, developed strategies, and prepared for the coming storm. They had learned one crucial lesson. Fear was the enemy, but courage and intelligence were humanity's greatest weapons. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the alien fleet regrouped. Their commanders conferred in silence. They had underestimated humanity. They had assumed weakness. And now, the galaxy itself was about to witness a force it had never expected. Humans who would never be prey. The first step had been taken. Humanity had survived, and the unexpected turning point had begun. The sun had barely risen when alarms rang across the world. Humanity's scanners detected movement, faster, more precise than ever. The alien fleet was preparing its first strike against Earth. Cities, space stations, and even isolated military bases were in danger. Panic threatened to spread, but humanity had learned its first lesson. Fear could not control them. General Marcus Hayes stood in the Global Defense Command Center. His eyes were sharp, his mind racing through every scenario. "They're going to test us," he said. "They want to see if we crack under pressure. We won't." Meanwhile, Captain Liam Reyes prepared his fleet for action. The human ships were small compared to the alien behemoths, but size did not determine the outcome. Humans relied on strategy, agility, and unpredictability. They had spent the last hours analyzing the aliens' formation patterns, energy pulses, and flight trajectories. Now it was time to strike first. Dr. Elena Carter's team had made another breakthrough overnight. By studying intercepted alien signals, they discovered that the fleet relied on centralized energy nodes. Disable the nodes, and the ship's weapons would falter, giving humanity a chance to survive. But attacking them directly was nearly impossible. They were heavily guarded and monitored. Humans would have to be clever. In the skies above New York City, Major Hannah coordinated a daring decoy operation. Civilian drones, repurposed and armed with electromagnetic pulses, swarmed toward the alien fleet. From the aliens' perspective, it looked like a massive human counterattack. Energy pulses flashed across the sky as the drone struck, detonating harmlessly, but sending a confusing signal back to the fleet. Captain Reyes watched the chaos unfold through his sensors. "Perfect," he whispered. "They're reacting exactly as we expected." In orbit, the human reconnaissance squad, led by Reyes, approached the first energy node. The alien ships rotated, their surfaces reflecting the sunlight in blinding flashes. A single mistake would mean death for the entire squad. "Steady," Reyes instructed. "We're invisible, but we're deadly." The first strike began with silence. No explosions, no alarms, only precise movements and careful timing. The squad used stealth drones to attach devices to the energy node, disrupting its signals. The aliens seemed confused. Some ships slowed, some spun in erratic patterns, and the once coordinated fleet was now slightly disoriented. Back on Earth, civilians looked up as strange lights danced across the skies. News anchors struggled to explain the sight, a human counterattack against an alien fleet that seemed unbeatable. For the first time, fear was met with hope. Humanity had shown that survival depended not on surrender, but on ingenuity and courage. Yet the victory was short-lived. The aliens reacted faster than expected. Their ships recalibrated, energy beams slicing through the night sky. Cities and stations experienced minor damage, enough to remind humanity that the fight was far from over. "They're adapting," Captain Reyes said grimly. "We need the next phase now." Dr. Carter's team activated a second wave of attacks, this time targeting the alien fleet's communication arrays. Using a combination of hacked satellites and EMP pulses, humans created a temporary blackout. The alien ships could no longer coordinate properly. Their lasers misfired, and some ships collided with debris in space. The chaos was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Major Hannah led a ground team to secure a strategic location near the Pacific coast. They established temporary outposts and prepared to defend against any alien landing parties. Her team had learned to move quickly, strike decisively, and vanish before the aliens could respond. Every small victory counted. Every human life mattered. Amid the chaos, the alien commanders became frustrated. Their calculations had assumed humans would panic, scatter, or surrender. Instead, humans were organized, unpredictable, and surprisingly resilient. For the first time, the aliens realized that intelligence could be just as dangerous as firepower. Captain Reyes' squad reached the central node. The tension was unbearable. They deployed a device designed to overload the node, a last-ditch gamble that could either cripple the fleet or endanger Earth further if it failed. "This is it," Reyes said, gripping the controls. "No turning back." The device activated. Energy ripples spread across the alien ships like a shockwave. Lasers misfired, engines faltered, and ships spun out of control. Humanity had struck first, and it worked, but the cost was high. One of the reconnaissance shuttles was caught in a backlash, debris tearing through the hull. The squad barely escaped, hearts pounding, but the node was destroyed. On Earth, cheers erupted in command centers and hidden facilities. Humanity had proven it could fight back. Yet, even in celebration, there was awareness that this was only the first strike. The aliens would regroup, stronger and more determined. They had underestimated humans, and now they would pay attention. In London, Major Hannah received a transmission from Dr. Carter. "The aliens' fleet is in disarray," she said. "We have a small window to push further, to hit another weak point before they recover." Hannah's team moved swiftly, setting up tactical strikes across the globe. Using a combination of human ingenuity and makeshift technology, they targeted alien supply lines, secondary energy nodes, and navigation systems. Every small victory caused confusion among the aliens, who struggled to adapt to human unpredictability. Meanwhile, civilians began to play a role. Amateur radio operators, engineers, and volunteers provided crucial support, sending signals and information that helped the military coordinate attacks. Humanity was fighting as one, soldiers and civilians together. In space, the alien commanders held a tense meeting aboard their flagship. They had never encountered a species that fought not just with weapons, but with intelligence, creativity, and courage. "Humans are different," one commander said, his voice sharp but uncertain. "We underestimated them." Captain Reyes received an urgent message from General Hayes. "Prepare for retaliation. They will come back with more force. But this first strike has shown us something vital. We are never prey." Reyes nodded. "Understood. We fight smart. We fight together. We survive." As night fell, the skies above Earth glowed with the aftermath of battle. Some alien ships had been destroyed, some retreated, and others hovered, uncertain of their next move. Humanity had not only survived the first strike, it had sent a clear message. But victory brought new challenges. Resources were strained, people were exhausted, and the threat was far from over. Dr. Carter's team worked tirelessly, analyzing alien technology and developing new strategies. Captain Reyes prepared his fleet for the next encounter, knowing that every move counted. Amid the tension, a new realization emerged. Humanity had strength far beyond physical power. Courage, intelligence, and unity were its greatest weapons. Even in the darkest hour, humans had the ability to turn the tide against overwhelming odds. In hidden corners of the world, ordinary people felt it too. Children whispered stories of heroes in the sky, of humans standing against impossible odds. Soldiers shared tales of bravery, teamwork, and cunning strategies. And above it all, the stars shone quietly, as if witnessing the awakening of a species that would no longer be underestimated. The first strike had been a success, but the war was only beginning. The aliens would return, stronger and more dangerous than before. Humanity had proven it could fight back, but the true test was yet to come. General Hayes stood in the command center, looking at the screens. "This is our moment," he said. "The galaxy thinks we are prey. We will show them we are hunters. The first strike is over, but the battle has just begun." Captain Reyes looked out his window at the stars. His fleet was battered but ready. Humanity had taken the fight to the enemy, and the unexpected was now the new reality. The first strike was only the beginning, but it had changed everything. And somewhere in the darkness of space, the alien fleet regrouped, their commanders realizing that Earth was no ordinary planet. Humans were unpredictable, relentless, and cunning. The galaxy had underestimated them, and now it would learn a lesson it would never forget. Humanity had struck first, and in doing so, it had declared one truth to the universe. Earth is never prey. The alien fleet had retreated, but the sky above Earth was far from safe. Human cities were scarred, satellites damaged, and the atmosphere tense with anticipation. For the first time, humanity had fought back and survived, but everyone knew the aliens would return bigger, faster, and smarter. General Marcus Hayes convened an urgent meeting. Around the table sat leaders, scientists, and strategists from across the globe. "We've survived the first strike," he began. "But survival is not enough. We must turn the tide. We cannot wait for them to attack again. We must take the fight to them." Captain Liam Reyes stood at the holographic display of the alien fleet. The enemy had split into smaller groups, possibly to scout Earth's defenses. Reyes pointed to clusters of ships, their energy fields flickering. They think they're regrouping. They think they've learned from their mistakes. But humans are learning faster, and we've discovered something they won't expect. Dr. Elena Carter leaned forward. Her hands flew over the keyboard, activating simulations. "We've analyzed the alien fleet's formations, energy nodes, and weapons. There's a pattern in their communication signals. If we can manipulate it, we can trick them into making mistakes, big mistakes." Hayes nodded. "Explain." Carter's eyes sparkled. "They rely on a central command frequency. Every movement, every attack, every formation is calculated in real time. But if we can inject false data into their system, we can lead them into traps, ambushes, and even collisions. They'll be blind to our real moves." Across the globe, human forces prepared. Soldiers, engineers, and civilians worked together, creating improvised weapons, decoys, and hidden launch points. The world was no longer divided by borders. Every human was united by a single goal: survival. Meanwhile, Captain Reyes led a fleet of agile human ships toward the edge of the solar system. They had a daring plan: hit the alien supply chain before the main fleet could regroup. Using stealth technology and unpredictable flight patterns, they avoided detection. Every maneuver was calculated, yet spontaneous. Humans thrived in unpredictability. As they neared the supply convoy, the humans unleashed the first phase of the plan. Drones attached to alien ships exploded in a carefully timed sequence, sending waves of electromagnetic interference through the fleet. The aliens reacted, but too late. Several supply ships collided. Others spun out of control, and the human squad vanished into space as if ghosts. On Earth, civilians watched live feeds. People cheered as news anchors described the first successful counterattack. Humanity is striking back, they said. We are not prey. Yet, the aliens were learning. Their commanders convened on the flagship, energy fields rippling with tension. Humans are clever, one said. They anticipate us. They use our own calculations against us. We must adapt or be destroyed. But humans had another advantage: boldness. Captain Reyes' team had located a secondary alien command node hidden deep within the asteroid belt. It was smaller than the main fleet, but crucial for communication. Destroying it would create chaos and confusion, giving Earth the upper hand. Reyes briefed his crew. This is dangerous. The node is heavily guarded. But if we succeed, the entire alien fleet will falter. We will have our chance to turn the tide completely. Remember, we fight smart, not just hard. They approached the asteroid, cloaked in darkness. Alien patrol ships circled like predators, energy beams cutting through space with lethal precision. Every move required perfect timing. Human drones created false signals, tricking patrols into chasing illusions while the fleet silently advanced. Inside the node, alien sensors detected movement, but it was too late. Explosions erupted as human devices activated, severing communication lines and disabling critical systems. The alien ships faltered, firing blindly, some even colliding with asteroids. For the first time, humans had taken full control of the battlefield. On Earth, General Hayes watched the feed with satisfaction. They've underestimated us for the last time, he said. Now the tide is turning, and we will not stop until they know humanity cannot be conquered. Major Hannah Lee led a coordinated strike on the ground, using underground tunnels and hidden vehicles. Her team hit alien scouts attempting to land on Earth. Every strike was precise, surgical. The aliens had expected easy prey, but instead, they faced humans who adapted instantly, learning from each move. Meanwhile, Dr. Carter worked tirelessly on Earth, and in orbit, she discovered that alien ships used a complex energy lattice for propulsion. By hacking into the system remotely, humans could temporarily reverse the flow, making alien ships spin uncontrollably in orbit. The effect was devastating. Several ships crashed into debris fields, while others were forced to retreat. Captain Reyes received an urgent transmission from the reconnaissance team. We've identified a weak point in the flagship's shields, they reported. It's small, but enough for a precision strike. Reyes' eyes narrowed. This is our chance. Prepare the stealth bombers. The fleet approached the flagship silently, weaving through debris and false signals. The humans synchronized their attack perfectly. Bombers slipped through the tiny shield gap, releasing high-energy explosives. The flagship trembled as energy cores overloaded. Fires erupted across the hull. Alien commanders scrambled to regain control, but it was too late. The flagship was crippled, its energy output cut in half. Across the galaxy, alien fleets watched in horror. Humans had gone from defenders to aggressors, striking with precision, courage, and cunning. The unexpected had become undeniable. Earth would no longer be treated as prey. Back on Earth, civilians and soldiers celebrated small victories. Humans had learned something vital: unity, intelligence, and daring could overcome even the most advanced enemy. Children whispered tales of heroes in space. Scientists shared breakthroughs, and soldiers recounted their daring missions. Hope spread like wildfire, but the humans knew the war was far from over. Alien reinforcements were likely on the way. The flagship's destruction had bought time, not victory. Dr. Carter warned. They'll adapt. We must stay ahead, or the tide will turn against us again. General Hayes addressed the world. Today, we have shown the galaxy that humanity fights with more than strength. We fight with brains, courage, and unity. The tide is turning. But we will not stop here. We will prepare for what comes next, and we will prove that Earth is never prey. As night fell, Captain Reyes looked at the stars. The human fleet, battered but undefeated, glimmered against the darkness of space. They had achieved the impossible, taking control of the battle against a far superior force. The aliens had expected humans to crumble. Instead, humans had turned the tide. Somewhere in the depths of space, the alien commanders regrouped. Their strategy had failed. Their calculations had been outsmarted. They had underestimated humans once again. They are unpredictable, one said. They are relentless, and they are dangerous. We must rethink everything. But humans did not wait for the aliens to recover. They used every victory, every insight, every daring move to prepare for the final confrontation. On Earth, people worked tirelessly, knowing that unity and intelligence were their greatest weapons. In secret bunkers, laboratories, and hidden command posts, humans planned the next phase. They built new weapons, developed more advanced drones, and trained fleets for coordinated strikes. Every citizen played a part. Every soldier contributed. Every scientist innovated. The tide had turned, but the war was far from over. Humanity had proven that courage and cunning could challenge even the most advanced alien fleet. The galaxy would no longer see Earth as prey. Captain Reyes received a transmission from General Hayes. Prepare for the next stage. The final test is coming, and humanity must be ready. We have turned the tide, but we must finish the fight. Reyes smiled grimly. Then we finish it. We are not prey. We never have been, and we never will be. Somewhere above Earth, the alien fleet paused. Its commander studied the planet carefully, realizing that their arrogance had been their greatest mistake. Humans were not weak. Humans were smart, daring, and united. They had turned the tide. And soon, the galaxy would witness the full force of humanity unleashed. The unexpected had become reality. Earth was no longer a passive target. It was a force that refused to bow, refused to surrender, and refused to be prey. And the battle for survival was only just beginning. The sky was dark with alien ships, larger and more numerous than anything humanity had faced before. The earlier strikes had slowed the fleet, but now the true test had arrived. The aliens were determined to destroy Earth, and this time there would be no mercy. General Marcus Hayes stood on the balcony of the Global Defense Command Center, overlooking the city lights flickering below. This is it, he said to himself. The final battle. Every life, every sacrifice, every effort has led to this moment. Humanity will not fail. Across the world, humans prepared. Soldiers readied weapons, engineers checked drones, and civilians fortified shelters and provided supplies. For the first time, Earth was united as one force, fighting not just for survival, but for pride, dignity, and proof that humans could never be prey. Captain Liam Reyes led the human fleet in orbit, the ships battered but fully operational. Today, we fight not just to survive, he said to his crew, but to show the galaxy that Earth is never prey. Every move we make counts. Every second matters. Stay sharp. Stay smart. Dr. Elena Carter coordinated a massive operation from orbit using hacked alien signals. Human satellites created decoy fleets, invisible to the alien sensors. While the aliens chased ghosts across the solar system, human ships moved undetected, positioning for a coordinated strike on the enemy's central command ship, the brain of the fleet. Major Hannah Lee led a special ground force, prepared to repel any alien landings. Remember, she said to her squad, they expect us to run, to panic, to surrender. We do none of that. We fight smart, we fight together, and we fight until the last breath. The aliens, however, were relentless. They fired massive energy beams at cities and strategic military points. Lasers cut through space like rivers of light, and explosions shook orbital satellites. Humanity had survived worse, but every attack reminded them of the stakes. Reyes' fleet approached the central command ship silently, cloaked among debris fields and false signals. The ship was massive, pulsing with energy, almost like a living fortress. Its shield was nearly impenetrable, but humans had discovered a vulnerability, a small energy conduit exposed only for brief moments during shield recalibrations. Timing would be everything. Dr. Carter's team relayed the information. "This is our only chance," she said. "If we miss it, the fleet will recover, and Earth could be lost." Reyes' heart pounded. He gave the order. Stealth bombers moved into position, weaving through the enemy's defenses. As the shield briefly dropped, human bombs struck with surgical precision. The conduit overloaded, sparks flying across the alien ship's surface. The flagship shuddered violently, engines faltering. For the first time, a real panic spread through the alien fleet. Their movements became disorganized, weapons firing blindly. The humans exploited every mistake, striking at supply lines, energy nodes, and smaller ships. Chaos reigned among the aliens, but humans remained calm, coordinated, and precise. On Earth, civilians watched the battle unfold on giant screens. Children clutched their parents' hands, hearts racing. Soldiers reported minor victories from around the globe. Alien scouts destroyed. Supply convoys intercepted. Communication lines jammed. Humanity had gone from survival to dominance. Major Hannah Lee's team faced alien landing squads near Tokyo. Energy weapons tore through buildings and debris rained down, but the humans moved like shadows. Using traps, improvised explosive, and precise timing, they turned the streets into death zones for the aliens. Every alien that landed paid for underestimating humans. Meanwhile, in space, Captain Reyes' fleet coordinated a daring maneuver. Using a combination of decoys, hacking, and precise timing, humans surrounded the alien flagship. Every ship fired in unison, creating a storm of energy blast the aliens could not counter. Sparks and explosions lit up space, painting the darkness with fire and light. Inside the flagship, the alien commander screamed orders, but the humans had predicted every move. Systems were failing. Shields collapsed. Weapons misfired. The once mighty vessel trembled under the coordinated assault. Dr. Carter initiated the final phase. Using the hack signals, she created an illusion of multiple human fleets attacking from different directions. The aliens, confused and panicked, turned on each other. Collisions erupted. Some ships spun uncontrollably into debris. Others fired at allies. Humanity's ingenuity had turned the enemy's strength into its weakness. Captain Reyes looked at the flagship, now crippled, and gave the order. "Final strike. Let's finish this." Bombers moved in, striking critical energy cores. The ship erupted in a massive explosion, shaking the remaining fleet. The shockwave disabled nearby ships, sending them spinning into space. On Earth, people cheered, tears streaming. Humanity had won. The aliens had underestimated humans, and now their arrogance had cost them. The planet had survived, but more importantly, it had proven something to the universe. Earth was never prey. Major Hannah Lee surveyed the battlefield from a safe vantage point. Streets were destroyed, but humans had defended every critical point. Civilians emerged from shelters, helping wounded soldiers, sharing food, and celebrating the impossible victory. Humanity had fought together, and together they had won. In orbit, Captain Reyes' fleet regrouped. Ships were damaged, but spirits were high. Humans had struck the first strike, defended the planet, and now dealt a decisive blow. The alien fleet had retreated, never to underestimate Earth again. Dr. Carter watched the final scans. "They'll recover eventually," she said, "but they will think twice before attacking any human world. We've changed the rules." Humanity has shown its strength, not just in firepower, but in courage, intelligence, and unity. General Hayes addressed the world via live transmission. "Today, we have faced the impossible and prevailed. Humanity has proven it is never prey. We fought not only to survive, but to show the galaxy that we will not bow to fear, threats, or superior force. Let this victory remind us that courage and unity are the greatest weapons of all." Children across the world stare at the night sky, imagining heroes in orbit, pilots weaving through alien ships, and scientists saving humanity with ingenuity. Stories will be told for generations. of bravery, intelligence, and the moment when Earth refused to be prey. Even in victory, humans remained vigilant. Plans were made for rebuilding cities, repairing satellites, and preparing defenses in case the aliens returned. But the psychological shift had already occurred. Humanity knew it could survive, fight, and win, even against impossible odds. In the depths of space, alien commanders convened. Their arrogance had been shattered. Humans were not weak, not predictable, not prey. Every calculation had been anticipated. Every assumption proved wrong. They had underestimated the unyielding spirit of a species that refused to bow. Meanwhile, Earth looked outward. Scientists, soldiers, and civilians worked together to prepare for a future where humanity would not only defend itself, but explore, expand, and command respect across the galaxy. The first strike, the counterattack, and the final battle had shown something vital. Survival depended on courage, intelligence, and unity. Captain Reyes stood on the deck of his flagship, looking at the stars. The aliens had been defeated, their fleet in retreat, and humanity had emerged victorious. "We fought smart, we fought together, and we fought bravely," he said quietly. "We are never prey, and the universe will remember it." Across Earth, celebrations erupted. People danced in the streets, embraced long-lost loved ones, and sang songs of victory. Cities were scarred, but the spirit of humanity burned brighter than ever. Major Hanley smiled as she watched volunteers distribute supplies and help rebuild communities. The people she led had faced impossible odds, yet had endured. She thought of the alien fleet, once so terrifying, now retreating into the void. "They will never forget us," she whispered. Dr. Carter looked at the screens tracking alien movements. "They may return someday," she said, "but we've shown them the impossible. Humans are clever, brave, and united. We cannot be prey. Not now, not ever." And as the stars glimmered above Earth, humanity finally understood a simple truth. Victory was not just about weapons or strategy. It was about courage, intelligence, and the will to survive. The galaxy had watched, and now it had learned the most important lesson of all. Earth had survived. Humanity had triumphed. And the universe would never see humans as prey again.